Just in preparation. The cave of my secret weapon! Mercy. Soon. Just in preparation. Mercy is for the weak. Just in preparation. Mercy. Just in preparation. Soon. No longer will the world be dominated. The cave of my secret weapon. No longer will the world be dominated. By the legacy of these fools.
Yes, audience, we are talking about the Arctic H.I.S.S tank. Now, I know a lot of you people commented in the thing down below when I talked about it, is, yeah, this thing fires rockets. Heavily does now. And honestly, I mean, there was a lot of surprisingly difference than the H.I.S.S tank. And to show my appreciation of how sorry this is, I'm sorry from that last video saying that, but I'm not going to apologize from everything because we'll get to that at the end. But let's talk about this. First and foremost, there's no point of reviewing the armaments. If you want to watch the actual H.I.S.S tank, it is the same exact armament. I'm only going to explain, audience, minor difference. First and foremost, let's talk about the major one. This thing fires rockets. These are the most broken things I have ever seen in World of Tanks in my years of playing this. I never owned this tank yet until now, so everybody's like, "Here, you could type in rockets. They do extremely high damage." It's like they're not just cosmetic. I get that, and I thank you so much for the guy in the comment down below for telling me that these things do. I appreciate it heavily because I didn't own the tank at the time. I didn't own any American tanks at the time that shoot rockets. I didn't know. I just saw them fly at me, and I'm just bobbing and weaving, dodging them, but I just didn't know that this particular tank does. But some people said it's better than the H.I.S.S tank. Well, yes and no. I've seen people done like 10,000 damage, like this clip here. Yeah, thank you. But still, my point is, I mean, 90 mil gun. Well, let's talk about other things that are different about this, obviously, besides the rockets. We'll get into that more. It's more heavy than a actual H.I.S.S tank, and the problem is it's the same armaments as the H.I.S.S tanks. Don't get me wrong. It's, like I said, if you want to see a full description of the armaments, down below. But I think it's because of those rockets that makes it harder to turn when you're on the move, where the actual H.I.S.S tank can actually turn on a dime. So you can literally just go deja vu clutch braking heavily. And also you will notice a thing very different between the two. This one has concealment, the H.I.S.S tank, where the Arctic can be easily more spotted than the thing, obviously, because of those rockets. It probably gives it away very easily, audience. So don't expect this thing to be the exact concealment as the most beloved Cobra H.I.S.S tank Arctic thing. However, at that point with speed, it's not really much a major difference because, one, you're sacrificing concealment and a little bit of clutch braking over having fucking rockets. I mean, these rockets are no joke. Now, some people told me, like, the rockets, you can only carry 12 of them, and that is correct. That you only carry 12 of them, and we're just going to talk about that in the ammunition. Now, everything else is kind of the same. Hang on, let me take a look real quick, audience. Just give me a second. Yeah, it's got the same price of its normal bullets. Again, link in the description down below if you haven't seen my actual review of his. But we're just going to talk about the actual missiles, which is literally penetration 100 meters, 480 penetration for 500 meters, 480 millimeters of penetration. This thing has to be close range almost. It's not like 2,000 meters like your, didn't mean to reduce that. Like your, standard AP round or heat. That's going to be shooting farther. where rockets have to be almost close range, which is, be mindful, this is devastating because of how much damage it does. It says 1,100. That's tanks like the Armadillo. When I reviewed the Armadillo, how broken these rockets could be, Armadillo is going to get one-shotted by this if it doesn't be careful. Like, this is really messed up. Module damage, even though it says like 550, I have seen it done 850 a damage a shot. I have seen, if it has heavily armored space armor, it does like 240. It's really ridiculous. We're talking about, audience. Now, the reloading says 36 seconds. Now, somebody told me online that it could be also 38 seconds for some rockets. I got it down to 33.3, which is not bad, but I get the point where the balance kind of works a little bit for reloading, but it doesn't work of the balance of how much damage this thing does. Holy crap, you might as well took the World War II artillery, bring it to the front lines, and then just shotgun anyone in front of you. That's literally how these rockets feel if you land a good hit. It's literally that ridiculous, audience. So, yeah, I mean, there's really no point on how to fix it because it's kind of the same thing. You got ventilation, aiming assist, and binoculars, which helps you see a lot farther since your job is technically, light tank. And now you could be purposely more in the front lines with this because rockets only go 500 meters. That's like 5 or 6 grids over. Well, not 5 or 6 grids. I would say 4 grids over to be safe, to have a proper detonation timing for it. But still, that is ridiculous for what it does. For you got the 90 mil, and the problem is, I talked about the Hiss tank saying like the twin barrel guns should be auto reloaders, like having 2 clip shots firing at the same time and then reloading kind of thing. But now people told me that one, it could be broken with a single shot, and it can be. It's like one of the most broken light tanks in GI right now. Between the Armadillo, the Mauler that came out where light tanks, there's nothing compared to the Arctic H.I.S.S tanks, like, or the H.I.S.S in general, because of those lovely 90 mils able to pen so much better than any of them. It makes it really deadly for any GI. I mean, I kind of feel bad for GI right now. GI Joe is like literally underpowered, besides the Mombat, than any of the light tanks that the H.I.S.S company has. Hell, even the Cat, even though the Mombat and the Cat do the same damage, that's equally balanced. But when you got light tanks versus light tanks of the GI, yeah, you got really overpowered light tanks for the H.I.S.S tanks. So that's been said and done. But like I said, if you want a proper review on all of the armaments, all its speed, and all of its other thing, it's basically the same. We're talking about, audience. I mean, spotting range is a little bit less on the. Actually, yeah, it's a little bit less on this. Speed is heavily reduced more because, again, it's went from the H.I.S.S tank being 75, which usually you can get it up to 80 if you got a good running time on it on a flat surface. This one's 72. I've seen like almost 71 or nearly 60 because of the heavy armaments. And also, well, when I meant armaments, I mean not like spatial armaments. I'm talking about those fucking rockets on top that actually fucking do shit. So, and of course, if you get the Mega Bundle, which I didn't, my friend got me the Commander, and then I basically did all that. And basically, you basically have the same perks as Cobra. You got, Born Leader, reloading, binoculars. It's the same thing how I set it up to be, but now that this is becoming a brawler, you can have like pretty much spawn liner. Well, spawn liner's equipment piece, but it's a must since mostly this is a rocket now firing frenzy zone now. But yeah, you want reduce armaments, especially if you want to use those rockets. They gotta be like 4 grids over, so you're literally in the front line assault. So you have a better chance. But I didn't equip it because binoculars. I like to have spotting assist damage too, especially if I'm in a pack of group people. So I'm going to do something different. I'm just going to play the tank. I'm not going to show like a replay or something. We're actually going to play it because I feel bad that I kind of said that to audience, but I'm not going to take back everything with the final verdict. So let's get to the battlefield. Okay, guys, here we are in our first game, and as you can tell, I am playing this pretty much willy-nilly. I'm not doing replays, I'm not doing anything like that, and you already saw how the 90 mil plays, so I'm just going to be playing with mostly rockets. So, as you can see here, it's got literally a 4-clip ammunition of rockets, which... Oh, now I could try to talk my personal opinion, but I'm actually have to concentrate. So this is going to be an interesting thing to try to talk and play at the same time, audience. So I'm gonna wait for my first target here. Um, what can I say about this tank? Well, I've been playing it for a while now, and yes, we are in AI because again, it's more easier for me to talk to relax, but you get the idea of how it works and stuff like that. So that way, when you play in multiplayer, it's a little bit different. I mean, little multiplayer is going to be harder because team's going to be shooting you right off the bat since they know what you are. So here comes our first target. I'm firing a rocket, and I can't see him, but I think I predicted where he is. I think I missed. And that's the interesting thing about this. They're not like rockets to where, you fire at someone like a standard shell. No, you guide these rockets. Like you can move the rockets. You can basically, if there's a weak spot in the tank, you can literally aim for that weak spot if it's sitting still. Like right there, I did like 220. And for the love of God, for anyone who has this, and I've seen this many times before, and even I accidentally did it, do not auto lock and shoot a rocket. Because if you auto lock and shoot a rocket, the rocket will fly over the tank. Like, watch, I'll show you. Like, maybe this won't work because it's shown right there, but here it is firing. It might hit. Yeah, I don't know if it hit. Nope, I didn't hit it. See, the problem is, if they're sitting still, it can work, but if you're shooting a moving target, your best chance is just to do this and aim in on the target so you could do the full flight. Sorry about that, audience. Phone rang, and Jesus Christ, I'm freaking early in the mornings I'm doing this, and I get so many phone calls during the day. So, back to what I was trying to say. Okay, I talked about not the auto-locking thing. I may have to do another game to where I could show you this because it's like that was pretty bad because I had to wait a long time for the phone to stop and the game's almost halfway done. Oh, hi, buddy. That's another problem too. If they get close to you, you might as well call it done because sometimes rockets that close cannot detonate or let alone it basically fucks up your aim time and stuff like that. And God, I'm not doing good hitting anything against AI bots. Ugh, damn phone of mine. See, like that, there's like barely any splash damage a little bit, and it just couldn't hit anything. So yeah, I think I'm going to show another game because that was just... Like I said, this is why I do replays and then do an audio voice over it. But then again, I'm trying to do something different because I feel bad because, again, I felt bad to like what I said in the video, but I'll try to talk more about it. So I'll see you in the next game. Alright, audience. Here we are again on a battlefield. I'm not counting the reward in that video too because, like, obviously I was gone because of the phone call thing. So this time I'm going to try my best in this one to try to talk and play, but because of my mental slowness, I have a hard time doing that with my brain. So what else to talk about? So yeah, this I easily could see what people say about this being more deadlier than the H.I.S.S tank. Even though it has less speed, it's got a little bit horrible turn time. I guess that's fair because you got rockets on the top of your tank. But having the fact that it could switch to its 90 mil fast reloading gun and able to shoot rockets, yeah, I could see it being broken. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not going to be fast as lightning. I mean, you still got a long wait time, but you have an option to where it's say, do I want to fire the rockets or the 90 mil compared to the H.I.S.S tank? It's like, oh fuck, I only got the 90 mil. I got to run. It's literally one of those types of things. Now, I've noticed like also in the play thing on how to play this is just like to squad up with 4 people and don't get spotted. Like, don't be the one being targeted. That's the only way I could see me playing this tank a lot more. And it's very hard to target moving vehicles because the rockets like have a little bit of time to get to it. And I can see why it says 400 meter, 500 meters, because that's usually the proper detonation time to do that, unless the tank's going to sit there a long time like this. See, like that right there, it only moved an inch, and my rocket went flinging all over the place. So it's got to be really, you got to be careful how to aim this at close range. And I wish they stopped moving. And I got that one. Good, 852. That's usually the average roll I do. Okay, let's try this again. There's a lot of Mombats here. How many people love that tank? I know, audience, that's another thing too. I need to get back to reviewing that. I apologize. It's going to take me some time. I've been doing other stuff, and it's been not good timing for me to do the thing. I hope I can get it done in the next couple of days left. But if not, I apologize. I'll probably do it at the end, since I know everybody has that tank. I mean, look at this. There's 3 Mombats in this queue, so I'm pretty sure. Oh, shoot, I'm reloading. I didn't notice it. So, either I could switch to my... Yeah, let's switch to the 90 mil. So after you fire your rockets, 90 mil to go. Yeah, see, you see what I mean? Like how broken that could be if nobody bothers you. And I know this is AI, so it doesn't count. I'm sorry, but it's the only way I can easily talk and play. Usually when I'm playing, audience, I'm usually quiet and ow, that was a fucking rocket. Where the hell was that? Because that fucking hurt. Don't tell me it was from the Arctic H.I.S.S way over there. How the hell did he hit me that far away? There's no way. Okay, now I got less amount of hit points and I don't have a healer. This tank is running up there and killing them. Good. Can I hit anyone from this far? Nope. Well, this is a good time to reload my rockets again. And that's the thing how you play it. I mean, honestly, if you're in a multiplayer match, it's going to be harder to aim your rockets because the players are not going to sit still and say, hit me with a rocket. No, you got to be crafty with it. And I'm spotted. Who the hell's over here? I'm reloading, 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 reloading. Yeah, by the time I'm done reloading, I might as well didn't reload the rockets because it's like literally freaking the game's almost over. And that's the thing I guess you could say could balance out between the H.I.S.S tank. It's just it takes so long to reload these rockets to the point where either the game's almost over between a victory or a defeat. So keep in mind for that if you're going to play with the rocket build playstyle on this, chances are you're basically an artillery. Like, if you have misses, that's your game. If you have hits, you have a great game. The clutch braking is such hard to turn on this damn thing. Like, I could see where I would love the H.I.S.S tank more if it had that clutch braking turning, but I guess they had to do it because of the weight ratio. Okay, last tank. Let's see if we can get close enough without the teammates blocking me. Oh, why did I... I'm so used to doing the auto lock thing sometimes when I'm playing as a light tank. But that was my fault. Alright, so let's see the final verdict for this type of tank. Well, actually, let's see the reward real quick. So, obviously, didn't get anywhere on the top. I had games, believe me, that I did more than that. Believe me, it's just when I talk and play, it's very hard for me to do. So, let's see the reward. So we got 73,000. That's not bad. I mean, remember, AI. This is AI. If I did the same amount of damage in multiplayer, it would make bank money. But I have 8 direct hits, mostly the rockets, 2 kills, and all the others. Got some XP, and got some free XP as well, audience. So, that being said, it does its job making money. And let's go back to the garage real quick, so I could talk about the final verdict, since now I got a clearer head thinking this. Yeah, I could see where they say this is overpowered. I mean, you got a tank that has a quick 90 mil shooter that you could switch to that can irritate any tank, because the 90 mil is better than, I hate to say it, between the Armadillo and the other tank, the Mauler. Well, the Mauler is very accurate, so I won't doubt that. If you want to look at that, it's in the description below. I'll put all the G.I. Joe vehicles I have reviewed up to this point, along with the H.I.S.S. But it just feels like these tanks with a 90 mil works amazingly better than the other ones. And now with a tank with rockets, I could see people fixing the clutch braking. They could get like perks to make it turn better. You can have like better accuracy, better viewing range. Hell, even the zoom one equipment that helps, or not equipment, is it equipment or perk? I think it's equipment that helps you zoom in farther when you see it out, because that would help with you aiming rockets and stuff like that at people. Um, there's tons of ways to play this. So, the final verdict, and me talking about it. Okay, I know I did this video really quick, and I know that I did it in AI, but again, it's the same money earning and same playstyle as the Hiss tank. Literally, just go watch the Hiss tank if you want the full review on everything, because the Hiss tank and this are basically the same. It's just basically one has rockets, one has good turning time, one has better concealment, and one has better, you know, kill streak. I mean, this thing can rack up a kill streak if it's left alone. So, I have to talk about also, when I talked about the thing, I will not, like, basically, I will not take back on some of the words. Yes, I know. I mean, you can't really blame me for the rockets because I thought it was a cosmetic look. And you can't blame me because all my years of playing World of Tanks, and I don't really watch other people review tanks, so my apologies, but it's just when you look at tanks like World War II and then you see like these machine guns on them and then all these other things on the tank, you would think like, okay, they could probably use, like you can use them. No, they're just cosmetic look. So I thought this was a cosmetic look until somebody had to tell me that, yeah, it has basically the freaking rockets, the fucking, the ATGM. And I didn't know that. I was just looking at everything else. I forgot to look at the ammunition, so my apologies for that. But again, that doesn't include the fact that when I talked about the price is not going to change with me. The price to get this tank is way too high for its price right now. 15,600 gold. I almost said doubloons. I've been playing Warships a lot. That's enough money. Like I said, right now, to be the deals right now, you can get 30 days of premium with 13,000 and something gold left, and you can get you could get 3 tanks or 2 tanks if you want to save gold. Hell, 4 tanks if you do the cheapest one, and then get the deal of the week, the Citadel, for 2,750 gold. That's what I mean. The value. It's like, I understand that this tank shoots rockets, and it's godly broken if you play it in the right hands, but it's under stress situations. Like, you have to time your shots. You can't have the target come too close to you. I mean, you can if you aim at them quickly, but it's still going to be a pain in the butt to do that. But at the same time, you gotta think, audience. One commander, one tank that shoots rockets as an option versus 4, 3, 2 tanks with extra gold plus 30 days of premium. Which one do you think is more valuable, especially in that case? The Hiss tank, to me, and the Atomic Hiss tank. I'm at the Hiss Atomic tank, sorry. I keep saying Hiss tank when that's its own unique tank, and I fared that one fair because if you got in the season pass, you got more out of your money doing that than you do buying just the tank. And it's the same exception for the Arctic H.I.S.S tank. It's too much money, people. And I'm not going to let that go. I may be wrong how I said it looked like cosmetics, so therefore it's the same as the H.I.S.S tank. I was wrong on that. And I will admit that. I was wrong, and I'm sorry. But I will not take back how much gold you have to spend for this tank, for everything that you want for the commander, days of premium, etc., compared to having a cheaper version down the road, Cheaper version down the road, that's fine, but you still have to put an officer in it, whatever, and you still have to pay either silver or whatever. I don't care. But for just 30 days of premium and that, for that much gold, like I said, World War II tanks. You could get like 4 fucking tanks. Seriously, with that much. Sorry about that, audience. I had some guests over, and I also had pretty much phone calls ringing up the yin yang, so basically, I had to edit that out as well. So, let's just get to the final verdict of this tank. Okay. Basically, the Atomic H.I.S.S tank, or not Atomic H.I.S.S tank, the Arctic H.I.S.S tank. Sorry, I'm a little flustered because it's just like I said this 3 times already, and the phone call was ringing, audience, so my apologies. The Arctic H.I.S.S tank has rocket shooting capability, 90 mil. The 90 mil is the same as the H.I.S.S tank, which is a plus. However, it doesn't have good clutch braking, so we can't outmaneuver tanks easily as best as the H.I.S.S tank is the king of doing that. Has the same armaments as the H.I.S.S tank. Has less concealment than a H.I.S.S tank because of those rockets on top. However, rockets could do like 860 if you hit a very good side of a chunk. However, though, is me rating it between the H.I.S.S tank that I gave a very good high rating for compared to the Arctic H.I.S.S tank I'm about to give it. So how do I rate this, audience, honestly? I would rate it like a 6.9 out of 10. It's like okay in my opinion. It's very good. I like it. It's fun. However, you're probably wondering, Fury, you just were rated. I mean, I watched your H.I.S.S tank review because if you haven't, look in the description down below. You gave that a good rating. How is that possible over this? Well, again, audience, look at how much you're getting out of it compared to the H.I.S.S tank. I mean, let's just go back real quick. I'll just try to go through this really quick in the store. The only way you get the Commander and H.I.S.S tank is through the Season Pass. And getting the Season Pass, you had to buy the Season Pass Ultimate for the H.I.S.S tank audience. So you get like the Commander, you get like the 3D Commander, you get not 3, you get, is it 3 or 2 tanks? It's 2 tanks. Because you get like the Mombat, and then you get the T-54 Mod 1 with a skin. That's a lot of value, audience. That's more valuable. Now, I said if you bought the tank by itself, I gave it a down rating too, but it was a pretty fun tank if you bought it by itself. But with the bundle deal, I gave it a higher rating. Now, think of the Arctic H.I.S.S tank. The only highest bundle you can get to get anything out of it is the max bundle deal, but you're only getting one tank, one commander in 30 days of premium, or just the tank itself when it goes down. You see what I'm getting at? The value of it goes down with me with my ratings because that's way too much money for an investment long term. Now, investment long term, yes, it makes you money and all that jazz, but the fact is when you get the H.I.S.S tank, you get 2 additional tanks, commanders, and the season pass unlock while skipping 15 levels. That's a value for getting shit, where this is only just the tank, commander, 30 days of premium, or just the tank for that ridiculous amount of 15,600 gold. Like I said in the video, you could get 4 tanks with that plus days of premium with that amount of money, especially with the deals going on in World War II. It's ridiculous. So, my final verdict, 6.9 out of 10. Really fun. I really had a good time with it. If you have the tank and the commander, it's your money, but to me, it just seems way too costly for something like that. But to me, personally, it's a fun tank. It really is. But for the love of God, if you want it, don't get everything. My friends had to help me through this to get to these commanders and stuff like that. And Wargaming, for the love of God, don't fucking keep doing this in the future. Especially with beloved icons like G.I. Joe. I grew up with these guys heavily. Not just the Cobra thing, but also the G.I. Joes and all them. I grew up with them. And this is downright insulting to my soul that you charge that much for a cat, a hiss, a mom, the fucking mom mauler, the armadillo. It's just ridiculously pricey, and I'm sick and tired of it, Wargaming, honestly. Because this is not fair for anyone. I mean, granted, who plays this game a lot more? And I'm sorry, I'm just going to say this real quick. I'm not going to drag this on anymore. But who plays this game a lot more? Average mid-class people or poor people. That is the common fact. I mean, I don't want to judge everybody in the world, but most people that can't afford a game usually go to free play games. But having the balls to charge a tank for nearly $80 up front to people who barely can't make a living or barely trying to pay bills or barely raising a family, it's out of their fucking minds, in my opinion, audience. It's out of their minds. World of Warships does it too, especially with the Tier 4 anime boats, and I've said that a lot in that. I'll leave in the description for the curious. But my point is, they should really think more like charging only either $50 or $30 for just a tank or something. Back to those things, because I know they're supposed to be like pride accomplishment vehicles, but to me personally, I think that no tank should be ever be above 55. And the amount of stuff you get for the premium days or whatever, I don't care. It should not be above that much gold. I don't care if it has permanent camouflage skins it gives you. I don't care if it gives you a 2 ranking officer or 3 ranking officer. Hell, it could give you a 9 ranking officer. I don't fucking care. No tank should cost that much for people who just want it. And you should be a damn shame of yourself, Wargaming, for this type of price greed that you keep doing this year after year, getting even more worse with Cold War, is really unacceptable for everybody who's trying to love and support your game. I mean, do you even care about your community? Do you even care about kids who play this fucking game? The kids who try to play this game so much and want to support and love your game, and you're shitting on them with all these expensive shit? Is that the icon you really want, Wargaming? It's just fucking stupid how this greed is getting out of control. And I'm getting sick and tired of it. Heavily sick and tired of it. More and more by the day goes on. So, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for checking out this video. And just stay safe out there, guys. And if you want this tank, I would just recommend getting just the tank. Don't get the expensive one, please. Unless you have the money to do so or reward points you save up, that's fine, but just be careful, my friends, and have a good one. Bye, guys.